Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where we love to educate and inspire the community to live more healthily, feel more balanced and truly live a lifestyle they love. And today for our first guest, we have Pauline Rooney, a Yoga for Wellbeing instructor and author. And first in a series, the topic today is mental health. So Pauline, welcome.
Thanks, Linda. It's great to be here. It really is.
So Pauline, how can yoga assist people with mental health?
Oh, Linda, it's unbelievable the assistance that people can have by learning very simple techniques. Breathing is the powerhouse. It's absolutely the powerhouse. When it comes to mental health, we have so many areas. There's anxiety, there's depression, there's bipolar, and on and on. And all of these illnesses, if you like, can truly be assisted with the power of our breathing. And I just love the breathing because we take it in our seasons. So we breathe for summer, autumn, winter and spring. So you see, we all have different mental feelings at these different times. Some people find that they have what's called SADS, seasonally adjusted disorder, right? You've heard of that, I'm sure. And so consequently, we breathe differently, and that settles our mind and calms us. So the breath, I cannot stress enough on the power of that. And when we're talking about breath, we're not just talking about breathing. Much deeper than that. We focus on the breath coming in through the nostrils, right into the base of the lungs, and then we talk a lot about the diaphragm, how it drops down to let the breath in, pushes up to let the breath out. So that's a part of really learning that technique of the diaphragm coming in and out, focusing on which nostril is breathing best. I know this all sounds a bit interesting, but when you learn it, the power in this to steady your mind and refocus. And if you're anxious about something, your mind then starts to play games. I call it run a riot, but it does, and it thinks of things that are totally irrelevant. However, if we can come back to focus on that breath in and out through the nose, and focus it going into the lungs, flowing out, focusing on each nostril in turn, all of those types of things, we settle immediately, right? And that is what is so important, to bring the focus to one point. It's when the mind shatters out, if you like, and that's going here and there and absolutely everywhere, we feel out of control. So as soon as we come to one point, the mind seems to have time to recollect. And in the yoga, so many of the professionals are using now breathing techniques, other techniques that we have in the yoga, physical techniques, and some people need the physical aspect of the yoga to really push through their body and feel what it's doing for them. But with that, of course, Linda, every posture requires breathing. So when we move our arm, we don't pop it up in the air. We choose to breathe in to lift and breathe out to put down. So when you breathe in, everything is lighter, right? So it makes the mind lighter. It's a fabulous way to get into thinking of life, mental health or not. If we can all just breathe that beautiful, deep, deep breath, we'd all have a lot calmer lives, I think. I don't think I know. And it'd be wonderful for all of us to calm down, to think one thought at a time. And we try to do too many things. We try to do this, that and the other, and somehow or other we've learned to have pride in how many things and jobs we can do at once. And that's confusing the brain, confusing our mindset. I'm a great believer in one job, one mind. And that requires one job, one mind, one breath, in and out. And that keeps us focused on that job. And if you've got mental health, you need to be able to focus on the job at hand. Otherwise, you feel you're not completing. You're not, and I'm sure you and I have both felt we've tried to do this and that and something else. We don't feel as though we've achieved everything successfully. Whereas and we probably haven't either, you know, but if we slowed that down and did one job with one breath, well, of course you're breathing in and out, but we say one breath, then you've completed that job calmly, completely, and with intent. So it's done much better. And then you go to the next one. But if you have a mental health issue, it doesn't matter across the spectrum of mental health. If we can really understand and appreciate that one breath, one job, bringing that mind back, I know I've repeated it, it's just so important. There's many techniques in breathing. There's what we call the alternate nasal breathing. There's what we call Nadi Shodhan. Then there's the Brastrika. It's the winter breath where you use your diaphragm to pump in and out. It warms and it really helps. Then there's the Kapalabhati, and that's spring and autumn. It's fabulous if you have hay fever or any of those types of things, which of course if you suffer with those, you do have a lot of anxiety, right? It does lead to anxiety, I must say.
Pauline, then what would be a takeaway for our viewers today?
One of the best, simplest and fabulous takeaways, I believe, is using our tall man and thumb and bringing them together on both hands. And it's so good, Linda. You can have it under the desk, under the coffee table, or while you're walking up the street. You pop those tall man and thumb together and it calms you down, right? So if you're feeling a bit nervous or anything like that, pop those two together and immediately you calm down. And if you have got mental health or issues across that line, it works splendidly well because it brings you back into that one mind, one breath, one job. And even for us, you know, we all get a little anxious, we all get a little nervous. So tall man and thumb on both hands, and that's the best tip I can give you.
So well, thank you, Pauline, for today. And now we'll go to break. For more information on Pauline Rooney and Yoga for Wellbeing, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll be back with another wonderful guest and another wonderful topic. Welcome back, and our next guest is Kaveri Sequeira, a certified health coach and author, and she's here with us today to talk about the human diet. So Kaveri, welcome.
Thank you, Linda. Really happy to be here.
So Kaveri, so human diet, we're all humans. So what do you mean by the human diet in this case?
So the human diet, Linda, is essentially the diet that Homo sapiens evolved to eat 250,000 years ago. So as elephants, every species on Earth have their own diet. So the elephants have their own specific diet that they eat, which is grass and a lot of leaves. The ants have their own diet. Different bird species have their own diet. So the human race, as we evolved, also had their own diet. Now the diet can be observed when we observe the last hunter-gatherer race in the world, who are the Hadza people in Africa. And they, till today, go and hunt and gather their own food. So when we observe them, we've seen what they eat, and it is essentially, hunting for meat, fish, a lot of fruits and vegetables, nuts and honey, and a lot of water. Because essentially we need about 7 to 8 glasses of water a day to be hydrated. So that is essentially what the human diet consists of. And unfortunately, in today's modern world, we are not following the human diet, and that is why we have a lot of issues with disease and like type 2 diabetes and lifestyle associated disease, because we've kind of veered away from that human diet. So my quest is to let people know of how, about it, so they're more aware of what it is, and then they can actually, have overall a healthier lifestyle. Now, when I started following the human diet, close to like 3 years ago, I was a completely different person prior to that. Like now, after I started following that healthier lifestyle, I released about 15 kilos because my body felt it was time to let go of all that excess weight, because my body felt healed and supported. I have so much more energy, so much more flexibility, so much more mental clarity to do the work and that I love and help people. And essentially, it's something that I very, very much believe in.
So then you talked about how it benefited you. What other benefits come from eating a human diet?
Yes, so again, to look at the benefits, if we go back to observing the hearts of people, that particular community has no disease like lifestyle disease that we have today, like obesity and type 2 diabetes, that doesn't exist, because they're also like super fit. And because they have to run like 20 kilometers a day to catch their food. So they're doing their 10,000 steps easily. And the women gather stuff and the men hunt, Unfortunately, in this day and age, we're not doing that. And so it's clearly eating that natural diet is certainly helping them with that health and fitness. The food that we eat in the modern world today, on the other hand, has got like processed stuff, chemicals, a lot of additives, just not real food. And that's causing all the, the problems that we are having in today's world. Plus, we're not moving enough. We're not hunting and gathering our own food, and yet we're eating, 3 meals a day which is not sort of giving us the nourishment that we need. So so following the human diet will essentially help you get the benefits of better overall health. You have amazing energy levels, you have mental clarity to actually live the life that you deserve and dream about. You're not, sitting at the doctor's, and popping medicines because you're eating what you were evolved to eat as a Homo sapien. So those are some of the benefits. And it also, like, eating that way naturally from nature, what's available in nature, will help boost your immune system as well, which is a big thing that results in a better, healthier lifestyle. So those are the benefits, and I think it's really valuable.
So Kaveri, then from all that beautiful information, what is the top advice that our viewers could take away with them today?
Sure. So whilst we can't hunt and gather our own food like the hearts of people, there's certainly things that we can do to have a better human diet and a more natural diet to lead to a healthier lifestyle. Some things that you could do is source your food from an organic food store, so you know where your meat and your fruit and your vegetables are coming, because we deserve that. We deserve to have a better, healthy lifestyle. So it'll be great if we could start voting with our money and actually buy food that's actually good for us. The second thing you could do is, and a lot of people are doing that these days, is having an edible garden. Grow your own food, and you know exactly where your food's going to come from. You can eat more seasonally, so you can buy fruit and vegetables that are in season, and that's actually going to help you. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be great for you. And this is my big one. Like, if you go and buy a package and it's got like 15 ingredients at the back, look at the ingredients is my first tip. And if you go and you find 15 ingredients at the back, I can tell you that is not going to be very good for you, because it's probably got a lot of processed stuff and chemicals and all that not cool stuff in it. And you want to be veering away from that if you want to have a better, healthier lifestyle.
Thank you, Kaveri. And for more information on Kaveri and the human diet, then please go to her webpage on our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and we'll go to break and be back afterwards with more amazing guests. Welcome back, and we're here again with Steve Hall, our holistic coach. More of the series on living a life of value and meaning. And today the topic is how to turn on the most powerful part of yourself you're not aware of. So Steve, over to you. How do we tune into our power?
Yes, thank you, Linda. It's a great question. And I suppose the question in everyone's mind might be, what is that power you're talking about to start off with? You know, if I'm unaware of it, where has it been and what is it? What does it look like? And it's what I've learned along the journey is our mind, you know, who we are. It's consciousness, but it's also a subconscious part of ourselves. And the conscious is only like less than 20% of the power of our mind. Most of it is subconscious. So it's, if you imagine it like a captain of a ship, you know, he's the conscious part. He can see where the ship needs to go. He's aware of everything. All his senses are giving him the information. And the subconscious is all the crew underneath, you know, in the bowels of the ship, you know, they're running the motors and steering the ship and everything. And they operate on communication from the captain to know what to do. Everything the captain says, they take it as an order and they just do what they're told. And that's their job. But it's really the crew underneath that is the power of the ship that, you know, gets it all running and takes it where it wants to go. So that's the analogy of the most powerful part within us is our subconscious. But because it's subconscious, we're not aware of it. And so how do we get that to work with us instead of against us? Because a lot of us are in lives where we may feel like we're stuck. We don't have any choice in where the ship's going, for example. And it's like, well, how do we change direction? How can we change course if it's, you know, it seems to be taking us a direction we're not wanting to be in? And that's what the most powerful part of us is.
Yes, because many, as people said, many people do feel they don't have a choice in life. So how would you say, what would you say to that? I know you said that you take charge of the ship. When they feel like they haven't got a choice, now what would you say to that?
Look, really great question, because you get stuck in life and it can seem like life and death. It's really important, but you think there's nothing you can do. The situation means I've got no choice. I'm stuck. And that's when you become a victim. You know, I'm powerless to change my life. And that's a terrible place to be in. So I really sympathise or empathise with people who have that feeling. I know what that's like. But it's one thing that I learnt through my journey is there is always a choice. And it's not the choice that was scaring me so much as the consequences of if I took a choice. I think we've really only got 3 choices in life, and we can accept something, we can change it, or we can let it go. But we might not like the outcome we're imagining out of any of those choices. So sometimes we do nothing and we think, no, we've got no choice. We've got to ride this out and wait for something to change, which is sometimes it's not going to happen until you make a choice. So that's what I'm talking about. The choice is there, and it's more about how can I learn to exercise those choices safely and take some control in the choice itself.
So the advice from that, you mentioned letting go. What is letting go? How do we do that?
Well, letting go is, you know, we've got a past and we've got a future and we've got a now that we're living in. And quite often we can get stuck in the past, in the story of the past, because once it's past, it is past. It really only exists in our mind as a bunch of neural pathways and some energy. That's all that's left over, but it's real inside our mind. And that can control, you know, what we do from here on in. So letting it go is deep breath, a little bit of mindfulness, but it's like identifying that happened to me how many years ago now? Yeah, it was bad, but it's gone now, you know. It's like breathe that in. It's not hurting me now. We have a tendency to take those situations and emotions that happen then and we apply it to everything that could happen in the future. So it's blanket across everything, and so we feel stuck. We've got those emotions, we feel them, they feel very real, but they're holding us in place. And that's a case of a memory from the past affecting our future. So it's like, let it go, acknowledge it's there, and yeah, it was hard, but you're past that now, you've learned from it. And the situation in the future is different to the situation in the past. And you're now got the experience from the past, you can use that too to take yourself more safely into the future. But it's like, let it go. Just go, that's gone. It's not serving me any longer to be controlled by that.
And no doubt there's a whole bunch of tools and tips that can be used to help that
Absolutely.
release or that letting go.
Yeah, there's some simple ones though that you can use right now, and that's our subconscious. Like, got to remember, they're the ship's crew, right? They operate on orders. So everything that our consciousness, and I'm pointing to my brain here, that's where I think it is. Whenever it's self-critical of the stuff I do, and that was a lot in the past, you know, like I was very judgmental about myself. But my subconscious takes all that in. And so the trick to turning the ship and letting something go is having positive language. You know, especially as an Australian, I used to criticise myself in a joking way, thinking, oh, that's all right, I'm just mucking about, oh, I'm an idiot. My subconscious is going, he's an idiot. Let's connect into a reality where he is one. And it listens to us, and it takes me into more situations like that. But if I go, oh, I can say I've made a mistake there, well, I'll fail forwards. I'll learn from that, and I'll use that learning to go, I'm not an idiot, I've just learned something. Let's change the language that we're saying all the time. So I would say if you want to start, you know, turning your ship, using your subconscious, turning your power on, catch yourself how many times during a day are you consciously aware that you've been critical of yourself, and how many times have you been complimentary or compassionate to yourself. And just keep going until the second one is higher than the first one. And that's something everyone can do.
Fantastic, Steve. Thank you so much. And for more on Steve Hall and living a life of value and meaning, specifically those fears that come up for us and our relationship with them, then please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And for now, we'll say bye-bye until next week.